Caligula, or as he was actually named, Gaius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, was the third Roman emperor and descended from a lot of famous people like Emperor Augustus, Mark Antony, and Marcus Agrippa. But what he's really known for is being absolutely insane. Let's find out how that was portrayed through TV and movies. The first option we're looking at is Caligula. This is a movie from 1979. It takes place near the end of Emperor Tiberius's reign and ends with Caligula's death. Script. This is porn. I'm not sure the plot takes up more than 30% of the movie. All the characters are unhinged, and this results in a lot of both sexual and psychological torture. I guess maybe some people could interpret this as artistic, and to each their own. But really, I felt the entire point of this movie was to have as many crazy people running around and having orgies as possible. Oh right, the script. Caligula is crazy and loves his sister. That's it. Acting. Was there acting in this? Just kidding. Caligula is played by Malcolm McDowell, who, did a great job at acting insane. It may only be because I'm a fan, but Helen Mirren was the only person who looked like she was having any fun in this movie. She herself described the film as an irresistible mix of art and genitals. Tiberius is played by Peter O'Toole, but sadly it was not his best performance. Sex and nudity, violence and gore. There is no movie sex. There is graphic, in-your-face, close-up on genitals, porn sex. I can only imagine how people reacted to this in the 70s. Graphic torture and murder. 156 minutes, rated for adults who like porn and know what they're getting themselves into. I did not. Next up, Caligula, The Untold Story, is an Italian film made in 1982. It begins while Caligula is already emperor and ends with his death. Script. If the last movie was all about the porn, this one is all about the killing. It focuses on the end of Caligula's reign and the lead up to his death. This Caligula is less out of his mind zany and more a cruel kind of don't give a fig about anything. We spend the first part of the movie just seeing how much people hate him. There's also a weird romance with a slave who wants revenge. Acting. Caligula was played by David Brandon. Sorry to say, nothing about the acting stood out to me. This might be partially because I watched the English dub version, which was only so-so. I struggled to stay awake. Sex and nudity, violence and gore. This is more your regular run-of-the-mill movie explicit sexual scenes, instead of a straight-out porno. A lot of non-consensual scenes and a woman and a horse. Ugh. Very bloody gore. We have people being stabbed, limbs cut off, and child death. 85 minutes, rated for adults only. For our last option, we're looking at the third season of Roman Empire, Caligula, the Mad Emperor. This is a 2019 TV docudrama about the life of Emperor Caligula. It begins when he's 7 and ends with his death. Script. Something I appreciated about this script that the others don't have is context. Caligula doesn't start out as being bonkers. We watch him grow up and are given possible reasons why he ended up that way. I also liked that it was not just focused on Caligula. We also spent a lot of time with his predecessor and successor. What I didn't care for is that, unlike the season about Julius Caesar, this was much more heavily narrated. Also, they reused the same footage over and over again, which got repetitive. Acting. I liked Ido Drent, who played Caligula. He was much more believable as a person who could have existed. Also liked the actors for Tiberius and Agrippina. I wish they had been given more scenes. My only frustration here was this version of Claudius, who was just a normal guy. And if you know anything about Claudius, you know why that is a problem. To be discussed further in future videos. Sex and nudity, violence and gore. Lots of waist-up nudity and making out, but no graphic sex. Not super violent either. We see period realistic people get stabbed and die, but no big epic battles and no gore. It's 4 episodes, each about 40 minutes, rated for adults only. Final opinion: Caligula. It is very rare that I can't get through a whole movie. If it wasn't for this channel, I would have stopped in the first 30 minutes. This is for you if you're in the mood for weird porn. Caligula, the Untold Story. Unless you really like to watch a lot of masochistic killing and are morbidly curious, I would stay away from this. Roman Empire, Caligula, the Mad Emperor. This is your choice if you want the option that's more realistic in its interpretation of Caligula and less focused on orgies. Honorable mentions. The Caesars, made in 1968, is a BBC miniseries. Each episode is about a different Caesar emperor. Caligula is featured in the 5th and 6th episodes. This Caligula is less crazy and instead has anger management problems with a sadistic streak. I, Claudius, made in 1976, was a television series by the BBC based on the novel. It also covers each of the emperors, but with a lot more dramatic flair. If I were to have a favorite Caligula, this would be it, if only for his fashion choices. He is so happy and delusional while killing people. Lastly, of course, I have to mention Xena Warrior Princess. Caligula is in 2 episodes of Season 6. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out my playlist for more movie and TV comparisons and how to watch historical media in chronological order. Happy watching!